Hey, welcome to Exposing the Lies of the Enemy One by One by the Carson Brothers. Today we want to deal with this particular subject called idol worshiping.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be coming out of Isaiah 44, verse 16 through 17. Now what I have here is a piece of firewood, that we use to put in the fireplace to keep the house warm. So back in the biblical day, they also used wood to keep themselves warm and to use wood to make food. They can cook the food and all that stuff with, so that's a good thing too. But the problem came in when they began to take the same wood, the leftover wood, and they began to make idols out the wood. They began to carve some kind of image where they can bow down to the wood and pray to the wood as if the wood was some kind of God that can save them and protect them and provide for them. They failed to realize that it was not the wood that was sustaining them. It was God power working through the wood to provide them with heat, to cook food and to keep themselves warm. Now in 2019, there's a lot of idol worshiping going on as well. It's more sophisticated though.
Yes, sir.
Because we're not bowing down to things and people and material things and all that kind of stuff, but we bound down inside our spirit and our subconscious mind. Idol worshiping is a dangerous thing, because what happens is we cannot worship God because we're too consumed with worshiping ideas, pleasure, education, people, money, material things, the way you look. All that stuff can become an idol to you. See, our heart is like an idol manufacturer.
Yes, sir.
And so whenever you rely on anything that God used as a tool to bless you with more than you rely on God, then that has become your God. And so the enemy wants us to, because he knows it's in us to worship.
It's in us. He made us that way.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So he would cause us or tempt us when God used something to elevate or promote us, then he would come right behind it and suggest that the power is in the material things or the people or the things or the ideas or the concept or pleasure. That's what's sustaining us when all the time is God. And so we got to be wise, because even in 2019, you may not realize that you're worshiping something if you're not worshiping God.
Absolutely, because again, God created us to worship him, so it's in us to worship anyway. So if we don't gravitate towards worshiping God, then we're going to gravitate towards worshiping those things that he made, which is his creation. Those things, if they can speak, if this wood can speak back to you, you'll say, why are you worshiping me?
Right.
I'm just a piece of wood.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So what's the resolution? What's the solution? The solution is in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6.
Yep.
The scriptures say, godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and we can take nothing out. So, number one, first solution, you got to care about righteousness. You got to care about doing the right thing. You got to care about God's will more than your own will. Because if you don't, everything we saying in this video ain't gonna matter. You're gonna gravitate toward worshiping whatever you worship. Your phone, your cars, your houses, your career, whatever it may be. Those things are good in a proper place. But when we start to love and trust and fear those things more than we fear, love, and trust God, we make it out of our God.
Exactly.
We begin to worship the creation rather than the creator. And God don't want that. So the first solution is you got to care about righteousness. You got to care about doing the right thing. You got to care about living a righteous lifestyle. If you don't, again, what we saying ain't gonna matter in this video. Number two, you got to be content. Okay, contentment and satisfaction is not the same thing. Satisfaction is when you are happy because you got everything you want. You got exactly what you want. You got the kind of house you want. You got the kind of car you want. You got the kind of job you want. You got the kind of life you want. But contentment is slightly different. It's choosing to be happy even though you don't have exactly what you want. You happy anyway. Why? Because you got a heart of gratitude. Why? Because you know how to count your blessing. Why? Because you look at the glass half full versus half empty. So that's the solution number two. You got to be content. And the third solution is you got to remember. The scripture said we came in this world with nothing. But we're gonna leave this world out of this world with nothing. So you got to remember, use common sense. Why sell out to this world? Why want something more than you're supposed to want it? Because see, if you want something more than you're supposed to want it, what you gonna do? You're gonna do the wrong thing to get it. You'll lie, you'll steal, you'll kill, you'll do anything to get it because you want this piece of wood, or you want this career, or you want this certain individual, or you want whatever you want more than you're supposed to want.
More than you're supposed to want it. And whenever you want something more than you supposed to want it, the enemy will begin to present a plan for you to get it outside of God's will.
Outside of God's
How
will.
do you know when you want it too bad? Is when you're willing to do just about anything to get it. You have made it an idol. You relying on it more than you rely on God.
Absolutely.
And so this is the mistake the enemy wants us to make. Even as believers, if we're not careful, we begin to make idols out of everything that God used to bless us with.
And that's why it's very important. It's very important to worship God.
Right.
Because if you don't worship God, you're going to worship something, because again, it's in us. He created us. He designed us to praise and worship him. Rightfully so, the creator, not the creation. We are a part of his creation. You can't worship an individual.
Right.
You can't worship nobody but God. Now, you can love those things, but you can't love it more than God.
Right.
If whatever you love, you ain't going to get enough of it. If you love it too much, you ain't going to get enough of it. You'll do anything to get it. Don't want nothing more than you're supposed to want it. The only person or the God that we should worship is the Lord Jesus Christ.
Right.
And that's what we want to leave with you guys. We want y'all to be blessed. We want y'all to meditate on everything we said, apply everything we said. We want you to share this video so that other people can be blessed. With this said, we'll see y'all next time.